Hey, welcome back to the fire pit. Question for you. Do you think soft skills are a waste of time? Well, I come across a lot of leaders who have made those kinds of tongue-in-cheek remarks or roll their eyes when I'm conducting human connection training, and that basically they think that soft skills don't matter. Well, what I would say to you in this time of churn, of disengagement, distraction, distrust, is to think again, because they do matter. And here's the issue. As the economy continues to falter and lean times present themselves in your life, in your business, a lot of traditional leaders that I work with, from the C-suite all the way down to mid-level managers, what they do is they double down on the hard skills and they ignore the soft skills. They put their hands on their hips and traveling Overwatch, as we used to call it in the military, and they become prescriptive, right? Well, why are we doing this merger now? Why are we changing this process now when the economy is doing this? Because I said so, damn it, right? Those are the types of responses that we're getting from these divisionist leaders in these times. And the reality is, what happens is it's a transactional mindset that has been taught. Most corporate leadership programs, I don't know if you know this, but they come from the military. I mean, corporations are set up with the chain of command and the hierarchy and the processes. It is a derivative of the industrial age military, and corporations reflect that. And that's fine when times are good and everything's clicking along, but when you have the kind of challenges that we do in today's world, well, I'll tell you what, it can cause some serious problems with your bottom line. It can cause serious problems with retention, with recruiting, this transactional mindset of it's just business, right? The reality is it's not perceived that way. It's not just business to your junior associate, to your employees. It's their life, and that's how they take it. So what I would say to anybody watching this who's thinking about, traditional transactional leadership, where coercion or prescription is a big part of it, what got you here ain't going to get you there, right? The times that we face now are unprecedented, and how we move through that is going to require leaders with a broader skill set than just hands on hips because I said so, damn it. What happens with coercion, and Professor Stuart Diamond in his book Getting More did an amazing study on this at Wharton School of Business, but what they found was that leaders who coerce, they actually create organizational insurgents. When you are coercive, in other words, when you twist arms to get people to do what you want to do, what you end up doing is creating an insurgent or insurgents in your ranks that are actively going to oppose what it is that you're trying to do. In times of fear and distraction and distrust, people go into fear-based behavior. They look at resource scarcity. They look at status. Is my status going to change within my group? And they draw into their in-groups, right? They try to stay alive by drawing into their in-groups, and that's a major, major problem, because when that starts to happen, we start to divide. You start to see factions and tribes manifest within the collective organization, within the business, within the team. That's just the way it goes. Fear-based behavior will bleed you dry from the inside out. And so if you don't possess those soft skills, what I like to call the Lawrencian skills, named after T.E. Lawrence, Lawrence of Arabia. Lawrence of Arabia was highly decorated for valor in World War I, but he wasn't remembered for the valor. What he was remembered for was his ability to mobilize Bedou tribes that would rather knife each other in the back, mobilize them to work together and overthrow the city of Aqaba and defeat the Ottoman Turks. One dude. Now that's a return on investment right there, right? That's a return on investment. When one guy can walk into what is today modern day Syria and unite and mobilize thousands of Bedouins to take a city that could never be taken, not because of his valor, he had plenty of that, because of his old school interpersonal skills towards human connection, the soft skills. So it turns out soft skills are hard skills. right? And what I'm talking about here is narrative competence, the ability to tell stories in real time to meet your goals, listening like your life depends on it, and even your nonverbal skills. These are the things that move people to action. These are the things that create tangible and intangible linkages between humans so that they can accomplish big things like a merger, like overcoming a rough economy. If we're going to get our people to do what we need them to do when nobody's looking, then we're going to have to be better at the soft skills. So what does that look like for you? Well, I think there's 3 areas that you can work on that will really be helpful, and you'll see an improvement right away. The first one are what I call Coyle's Big 3. Daniel Coyle wrote a book called Culture Code, and he studied high-performing cultures all over the world, and what he found was that typically high-performing cultures, whether it's an NFL Super Bowl winning team or a Fortune 500 company, they have 3 things they do very well. They're very, very good at creating psychological safety, where the other person doesn't feel like they're going to get landed on by a teammate or a boss. They're very, very good at human connection, and they're very, very good at creating a shared future, where the most junior person and the most senior person feel like they have a future together. That's one. Start looking at Coyle's Big 3 and how you lead your people in hard times. Does this person feel psychologically safe right now? Do they feel like they can speak their mind in the context of the mission without being landed on? Is there a deep connection in this room right now? Are we all connected? Am I doing what I need to do to foster a connection? And number 3 is, does everybody in this room feel like we have a shared future? Does this upset employee I'm talking to feel like she has a shared future right now? Because if she doesn't, then she's not physiologically able to hear a damn word you say anyway. The second recommendation that I have is to be an empathetic witness. This is what Daniel Hardy, Dr. Daniel Hardy recommends. When you're walking the halls, whether it's a virtual walk of the halls or whether, like on a Zoom call, or whether you're actually getting out there and meeting people on the shop floor, is being an empathetic witness, bearing witness to what that your people have experienced in their life in the last 24 hours, the last week, the last time you saw them. You know, ask them a question. What's one good thing that's happened to you last time since I saw you? You'll be amazed at the answers they give you, right? That is being an empathetic witness, bearing witness to what they've been through without judgment or anything like that. It's a simple thing. And the final thing that I recommend as a soft skill in hard times is let discovery be your intention as a leader. When you're sitting down as a leader, even if someone's upset, even if someone is accusatory towards you, pure discovery, nothing else. I want to see the pictures in their head. I want to know what their pain is and what their goals are. What's their pain? What's their goals? What's their pain? What's their goals? And I want to keep asking thoughtful, open-ended questions that let them tell me that story back until I'm crystal clear on what those stories are of their pain and their goals. Because when you do that and you can articulate that back to the other party, they're ready to listen to what the hell you have to say. And that is what moves people in the hardest of times. I've seen it move people in firefights. Right, is leaders who lead that way. So Coyle's Big 3, be an empathetic witness, bear witness to the things your folks go through without judgment, and let discovery be your intention when you interact with your folks. It makes a huge difference. Very few people do it, and that's why so many companies are going down the toilet right now. Thanks for what you do, and we'll see you next time around the fire pit.